Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I am doing a speed build of the Penthouse Paradise. So if you're interested in this build, you can download it off of the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. And so I'm sorry if you can hear some sort of mechanical lawn work yard thing in the background. It's summer now, I guess, and so people are mowing their lawns. And I don't really have any other time to record. I have been so strapped for time lately, guys. I feel like I have so much on my plate, so much so that, to be honest, right now, as I'm doing the As I'm doing the voiceover for this, I haven't made an intro, I haven't set up the screenshots, and I almost didn't have a name. Like, I don't know, what am I, Lil Simsy? But no, I actually had to ask you guys on Twitter, and Maple Simmer suggested Paradise Follies, and then I went for the alliteration of Penthouse Paradise, which I guess, I don't know if it fully fits, but I think it's good enough. This would be kind of a paradise to live in. I'm just so lost, like, with the name of this. I don't know. It's a different style, I think, than I usually build. It's a lot more mature. Have I already called a penthouse a paradise? No, that was a modern paradise. And this is also a modern build, and that wasn't a penthouse, but that's okay. I don't have enough time to go back and change it. Oh, goodness, but I just have a lot going on with work, endless work, and taking care of my hedgehog, which I'll get to, and getting ready for applying to grad school again, which is a pain, but it's finally kind of coming along. And since I've started exercising more, it's such a draw on time, because, like, my favorite thing to do is to go to the gym, which is about 10-15 minutes away by car, depending on traffic, and then I get on the elliptical and I go for like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and so, like, by the end of everything, it's like an hour plus. And if I go for a walk, I like to go for a long one, so that can be anywhere from 30 to an hour plus, and it's just a lot of time to do 4 times a week. It's rough. I'm tempted not to go today, but yeah. Also, sorry I'm not talking about the build a whole bunch. This shape for this took me forever to kind of figure out. It was very unplanned, very sort of spur of the moment, like by the seat of my pants sort of building, so I don't have a huge amount to say about it. You might have noticed some of the sort of staircase-like structures, and this build was actually started before the industrial garden spot and was the inspiration for some of the landscaping in that one. But I came back to this one and did a similar thing, and I think it looks good. Maybe not as good as the other one since it came first, but yes. Anyways, back to me talking about me instead of the build. Exercise. So, speaking of exercise, I post this on Twitter, which, by the way, I do actually post a lot more on Twitter now than I used to, so I actually feel a little bit more comfortable saying you should go follow me, kind of, but not really. If you want to, you really don't have to. I don't say anything that interesting, but oh my goodness. But I went for a walk and I was like so proud of myself. I wanted to go, my area is kind of hilly and I've been just going for walks on level ground. And so I was like, I'm gonna really take the hill, you know, this would be my second time doing it. And so I like really went uphill and like I really went hardcore for like 20-25 minutes. I was just walking like straight uphill, and then I turn around and I'm like, yeah, I can come home now. And I start going downhill and my calf muscles just seized up, and it was the worst. I've talked about having muscle cramps before, and this wasn't as bad as some of them, but they were like rigid and I could hardly walk, and I'm just like trying to hobble down this hill, and I'm just like, I can't make it home. Like, I can't walk for another 20-25 minutes hobbling downhill. Like, I just can't. And so I actually had to call my boyfriend to come get me, and it was so embarrassing at the time. I'm a little bit more okay with it now, but at the time I was just like, I feel like I'm being punished for wanting to exercise. Like, what is this? But yeah, so now I've been like, my calves still kind of hurt, but I did go for a really long walk the other day. But I'm trying to be really gentle with myself, but also I just want to, It's really frustrating. Truly, truly frustrating. But yeah. Today is a Thursday again when I like to record, so yes, I don't know where I was going with that, but you can see this is about what the build is going to look like. It still underwent a few changes, and like I had this idea of a sort of courtyard where you couldn't see the view really except for maybe through windows and like an interior garden area, but then I decided against it. But I do actually end up having an outdoor dining area, which I thought was really interesting. There's like a little breakfast sort of table on the inside, but on the outside it's very outdoorsy, and I really like it. This build is kind of an enigma for me. I think because it came together so haphazardly, like you'll see me change a lot of stuff or you'll see me work on a lot of stuff. It just kind of never really formed a solid idea in my mind. Like I think it's a solid idea in the game, but in my mind I'm still just kind of not sure what it is. Like maybe it's kind of a family penthouse because I have 2 rooms. One I think that's for like a teen and the other I think is for like a kid. And then maybe, I don't know. I don't know, but I do feel kind of bad that I don't have a huge amount to talk about with this. I mean, you know. But I originally thought I would go with a eco theme, like an eco penthouse, which is why there are those solar panel type things on the roof. And I decided just to leave them. I thought they added some interest even if this wasn't specifically an eco house. But yeah, and I, for the first time in like forever, I actually made a entrance room for the elevator, since the Sims will just walk up, will just take the elevator up in, and then they're super obnoxious and roaming your home, and you're like, bro, you just broke into my home, bro. And so I like, that way you have a front door and the Sims will be stopped there, because they're just so annoying. Especially the welcome party, I appreciate that feature in practice, but I hate how if you cancel it, the Sims get mad at you, and I'm just like, well, I have better stuff to do with my time than talk to you. Like, come on, I'm building here. And so I have like 1 or 2 Sims that I just kind of move from house to house to house when I go to take screenshots, and they are like the most hated Sims in my game, and like all of the townies hate them and like think that they've been snubbed, and I'm just like, you need to calm down. Yeah, but there's this, I really love the uppermost bedroom. It would be really annoying to get to, but it's really narrow, but I find it really cool, and it has its own little patio garden area, and it has enough room for a yoga mat, which is usable. I kind of play tested this faint-heartedly. Yes, I'm not the best at playtesting. It's something I'm trying to work on. It's something that I used to do very rigorously, but now that I've been building like a build a week, sometimes more, I've been kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm sure the sim, that'll work. And it doesn't always work, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. Because I know how frustrating it can be to have like a build that isn't usable, but then I'm also just kind of lazy. Yeah. Ah, goodness. But I just feel so giggly today. Did you hear my voice crack? Yes. And that's partially because I wish I had more to say about this build. Here I am kind of plotting out the colors, and I had done this before with the exterior of this build, and I left that out because I didn't end up going with any of it, and I kind of gave up because I wasn't quite sure what coloring I wanted. And so then I was like, well, let's just plan the interior and we can let that influence the exterior, and that really did happen. This is the birth of, oh gosh, this sort of brown and blue color scheme, which I really like, and I liked using this wallpaper that we got from Dye Now. I thought that I like this wallpaper. I know some people don't, but I do like it. So it's a mix of Dye Now and Spa Day. And I also used the wood tone, I think, not on the exterior. Did I use it on the exterior? No, but I did use that chevron wood in the blue color, which I think looks really good. But yeah, I don't know if I think I included all of the exterior coloring once I got to it, but I didn't include the interior because this build was just so long. This one also took a while, but it didn't feel as long as the last one for whatever reason. But I do love how it turned out. I love, with the wood, the lines on it. And I thought that it just merged really well on the interior, and so I did really like how that turned out. Oh goodness, what was I gonna say? Oh, I don't know. No, well, yes, that's what I was gonna say, sorry. I'm like all over the place today, so you're gonna have to just bear with me or mute me if you really want to. But I forgot what I was gonna say again. Wow, this is really great. There we go. So I originally, with the eco thing, I was planning on going with like a green color scheme and having the bright blue windows, which would have been cool, but it just, again, didn't quite feel right. And then I also put in those long rectangular windows, and those come from the Get Together. And what they actually are is, they're called one-way mirrors, and so you can see into them, but you can't see out of them. They're a mirror, and they're supposed to go in the interrogation rooms. And I've thought of using these before, and I haven't really, because if you have the mirror facing outwards, it looks really weird on the gallery, like it's just bright blue. And then if you have the mirror facing inwards, it's kind of a dulled color. But I decided to go with that, and so I colored all of the other windows to try and match it, although it doesn't quite perfectly. But I did like how it turned out, but I cut out a lot of footage of me just recoloring every single window. That was obnoxious. But here is the kitchen, and it's not a huge kitchen, but I do like it. I think it's cute. It took me a while to figure out the layout just because I knew I wanted it in this little area. Like, I originally thought, I knew this would be the kitchen dining room area, but then the dining room area did end up a bit more outside, like right here. And then I also wanted the other section of the penthouse on the other side of the lot to be the living room, but I didn't quite like that, so I changed it to the master bedroom, and then I put the living room upstairs, like practically in the hallway, which is honestly weird, but I like how it turned out, and I put up some pictures on Twitter, and you guys seem to like it too. So yeah, I've been trying to be more active on Twitter just because I find it's fun. I get some more comments, although when I asked for names for this build, I love you guys, but you guys are all just like, oh wow, it's a cute build. And I'm just like, that's not the answer I was looking for. I wanted names, but that's okay. It's totally good. I will accept compliments any day. Yes, but here's this bedroom. And again, I feel like I was going with a style I don't often go with. I think it's a little bit more muted in color scheme than I usually go for. I think it's quite mature, and I really like it, and I'm pretty proud of how consistent I kept the blue color scheme. And then I kind of had some rooms that were more dark blue and gray, and other rooms that were light blue and white, but in the end it was still kind of also, blue and brown, and I'm proud of myself. I wish that the mirrors on the interior though were a little bit better, the mirrored windows, because they're kind of blurry in a way, and I don't quite get that, and I don't think Sims can look in the mirrors. And so on the other side of the building, the mirrors are all in the bathrooms, and so they're supposed to act as the mirrors. I don't think they actually do. I forgot to test that. But that's how it ended up, and I only show me doing the master bathroom because the rest of the bathrooms are exactly like that. There's actually a moment where I copied the bathroom and just like place all the objects I wanted in all the like color schemes and just like up into the top floor bedroom. And so I was like, this is really lazy, but it works. And I love how this turned out. I was kind of experimenting with the sink a bit. Forgot to test if this works. Wow. Whoopsie. That's probably an issue. That's actually probably a pretty big issue, but I hope it works. I guess you can always just delete the little marble bit. Sorry. Whoops. Didn't mean to. But I did, because I'm not great at that. But anyways, since I don't have a huge amount to talk about this build, I thought I would tell a little story. It's a random story that I've been thinking of telling you guys for ages, and I'm not quite sure why, but I figured I'd tell you anyways. So, when I was in college, it was summer, and I was at summer quarter, and I was just kind of like walking along, and I see this dude in front of me, and he kind of like looks like right and left kind of suspiciously, and then he chucks something into the bushes, and then he kind of looked around again, and this is a really dull story, I'm sure, like, but I was just kind of like, I don't know, usually I wouldn't, but I was just kind of like, I saw that, and he like kind of turned around, startled, and I was like, what did you just throw in the bushes? And he was like, it was a peach pit, and I was just like, that's littering, right? And he kind of looked guilty, and then he was like, no, it's not, because it's going to biodegrade, and I'm like, okay, yes, in theory, but also no, because this is a gardened area, which means a gardener is going to come along and find that gross, nasty peach pit before it will ever biodegrade. Like, I understand that things biodegrade, but it also takes more time, I think, than people think. Like, it takes a little bit of time, and so when you start throwing stuff into landscaped gardens, that just means that somebody else has to deal with your nasty peach pit. So anyways, I don't even know why I want to tell this story, but I just thought it was kind of fun. And he was actually surprisingly okay about it. He didn't go back and get the peach pit, but he acknowledged that I wasn't the best, and but it also kind of reminds me of this different time when I was living in the apartment I am now. My boyfriend was away, and so I was kind of home alone, and the next day I had like a big test or something, and there were these people at like 10 at night just standing outside of my window, like chatting it up and being super loud, and I was like super nervous because I really needed them to like be quiet, but like my boyfriend wasn't home, so I was like kind of like concerned to be like home alone and confronting people outside. And so I knelt down so that they couldn't see me and like opened the window like a total like a total weenie wimp. And I like kind of called out, and I was like, excuse me, you guys are being really loud, and I have a test tomorrow, and could you maybe find somewhere else to go? And I was so surprised because kind of like the Peach Pit boy, they were actually like pretty like apologetic, and they were like, oh yeah, sure, totally, thanks for telling us, we didn't know we were being so loud, and then they left. And so those are both some stories that have very, very boring resolutions, but I told them anyways, and I hope you enjoyed them. Oh my goodness, this is what happens when Penelope is stressed and doesn't have enough time to do things, but that's okay. Here is the living room, and I love this living room, and this is what I posted a picture of on Twitter. It's really cute. I think it's cute, and I'm really proud of the pairing that I did with the furniture. I'm always proud when it comes to living room sets, since EA is the worst, and they don't do matching living room sets. I am so personally affronted by EA's choice not to do matching living room sets that in some ways I kind of dread when they come out with like new content, because I'm just like, okay, what lone sofa or love seat or lone like armchair are you gonna give us now that I have to figure out how to match with everything else? I'm so bitter. Hey, 19 minutes. I'm getting better, you guys, I think, at how long it takes for me to complain. But yeah, I've never, have I used that rug before? I feel like I have, or I haven't. I've kind of like, it took me time to warm up to that rug because it looks a bit mangy in a way, like not really, but it's a different texture, like it's trying to convey a different texture than all of the other rugs in the game, and so it took me a while to kind of warm up to that texture and get used to it. But yeah, here is the little office area, and it's in the hallway, and it's a little awkward, but I didn't want to devote one of the rooms that could be a bedroom to it. And oh goodness, I had a burp that was so attractive. I thought that it fit nicely into this narrow hallway, because it's an awkward hallway. Like, I tried my best to make it not awkward, but it's still pretty awkward. This house would be really annoying to get around in real life, but here is the kids' room, and it took me a long time to kind of figure out the layout. Yeah. But I did like how it turned out in the end. I think it looks pretty cute, and I think it could be pretty gender neutral if you like care about that stuff, which I personally don't really, but then I say that, but then I also do kind of worry about it, so I guess I can't really say that I don't care about that stuff. When every time I build a children's room, I wonder if it's gender neutral or not, or what. Yeah, anyways, I'm a little Miss Hypocrite over here, but even though this is just a kid's room, it does get its own ensuite bathroom, which in a way poses its own difficulties because it took away even more space from this awkwardly shaped bedroom. Like, I wanted so badly to put a double bed in here, but no, it just wouldn't fit. Like, even if you placed it up against the wall, it was just so awkward. Like, this is a very awkwardly shaped room, but I think it turned out okay in the end, and I wanted to make sure, like, it's a kid's room and that it also has kid-related activities, because I think lately my houses haven't had enough activities for The Sims, just because, there aren't a huge amount and a lot of them take up a large amount of space. And so when I play the game, I tend to be more focused on inter-sim interactions, sort of like in between sims. And a little bit less on activities, and I focus maybe a bit more on skills, but I know a lot of people really like to do the activities, so I try and include them, like little craft table for kids, that sort of thing. And then here is a bedroom I thought kind of would go for a teenager. It's a bit simpler, less cluttered than I usually do, but I like how it turned out. I think it looks very young adult, and it would probably just look adult, except for I think the stack of suitcases kind of keeps it from looking too old. Not quite old, but yes. This room also has a balcony that has access to the bubble blower, aka hookah, which I almost never use in game, mostly because, like, I guess the word would be a prude, but not really. I don't know. Like, I was raised in a very straight-laced sort of household. That being said, though, like, hookah is often cigarettes, and my dad did smoke all while I grew up, like a fiend. And he never smoked indoors, but he would smoke while driving the car, and I'd be like, and he'd open the window, but I would be in the, like, the seat behind him in the passenger seat, so I'd always get a face full of smoke anyways. But he ended up having a heart attack a while back. He's totally fine now, which was scary. It was way back when I was like 17, and I'm 23 now, so that was like 6 years ago, and he's doing a-okay, but he did definitely smoke a lot. And yes, there is heart disease runs in my family, super hardcore, and the really interesting thing is that our family has pretty naturally, like, within normal limits sort of cholesterol, and so that wasn't really the problem, the issue with him. It was the nicotine that constricts his blood vessels, and then just our family's, like, genetic inclination to, like, hypertension and stuff. So I haven't ever smoked. I did try a cigarette once. Don't try cigarettes, guys. This isn't, what am I even talking about on my channel? I'm doing my build and I'm talking about smoking cigarettes. Don't do it. Oh my goodness, but I didn't like it, and I'm glad that I didn't, because it just can be a really hard habit to break, and it can be really hard on your body, and I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Hookah, that's why. We really went, like, around in a circle. I feel like I talk in circles a lot, but yeah, if you were expecting a build where I actually talked about the build the whole time, you were thoroughly disappointed, I am sure. But I find my personal style is I do either like to hear nothing about the build, or I like to hear a little bit about the build, and I really just like to hear people's stories, so I guess I just tell my own stories. But here's more of that vertical sort of garden, and I do like how it turned out. I think I got a little bit, kind of ran out of ideas with it here, and this space wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I do think it looks okay in the end. It's really just like a little chest nook, but that's okay. And right next to it is a little, I kind of think of it as like a rec room, but it's super small. So all it has is a foosball table, which I keep putting in my builds, even though I never use those when I'm actually playing myself. But I think they just look like so much fun, and we don't have pool tables. Why do we not have pool tables? Wow. The Sims 4 has been out for so long, and we don't have pool tables. Huh. That's a weird thought to me. Yeah. Huh. Thinking about it way too much. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I just put a little pool table and a little like sofa area, and yes. I am super excited. The Parenthood game pack is coming out in like 5 days, but I'm also super nervous. Well, I'm mad because they're posting it on the 30th of May, and that's the day after Memorial Day, which is the day I have off. And like, I recognize that it's a day a lot of people have off, including probably the Sims team, but I'm also just like, couldn't you have posted it then? I could have gotten all my builds done, and it would have been great. But as is, I'm not quite sure when my builds will go up for that. Yes. I am currently working on my own 1K challenge attempt, and I'm worried I won't get that done in time since I'm so behind with this build. Like, I haven't like put together the intro or the screenshots, or I haven't made the thumbnail. So feeling a little stressed, a little anxious, feel a little behind, which I don't like feeling on my channel. But I think it'll all work out. Let's just be positive. But here I did change the carpet in this because it just looked so boring, and so I changed it to the gray pattern, but I thought that still looked boring, so then I did this kind of odd thing with the rug, and so I hope that you guys like it anyways, even though it is a little bit odd. But I thought it kind of helped to break up the space a bit, make it less intense. But yeah, here is the my favorite bedroom, even though it's kind of like cramped. Also, the lighting there with that plant is to die for. But I do like how this turned out. I think it looks really cool with the space, and I like the color schemes, and I like what I did with the rugs, and I do just very much like it. But yeah, so trying to think of things more to say. Oh, I know what I can talk about. So I really like pugs. I don't know if you've noticed. It depends on how long you've been on my channel, but I'm obsessed with pugs. And I don't own a pug, but I am so obsessed with pugs. And so I'm really excited because coming up soon is this sort of like pug festival that's in my area. And like, I went last year and I had literally probably one of the happiest days of my life. Like, the time of my life. It was amazing. I went and there was like probably almost 100 pugs, and I was just dying of happiness. I just love pugs so much. I can't even explain it. Like, I feel really bad because they do have really bad breathing issues, but they are just so cute. And so what I've kind of like decided with that is that I'm not planning, when I, am able to get a dog, I'm not planning on like buying a puppy. I'm planning on rescuing a pug, and so hopefully I'm not contributing as much to the sort of issue of their faces and whatnot. It's so difficult because I have so much love for them, but I also just like, I just think they're really cute, and so like on the one hand I'm like, well, they need to breathe, and on the other hand I'm like, but they look so cute. Oh goodness, that sounds really bad. A lot of what I say sounds kind of bad sometimes. But I do love this little nook area. I think I could have done a little bit better with the seating area in it, but I do like the yoga, and that does work. I tested it out. It looks awesome. Highly recommend. I would have taken screenshots of it, of my sim doing yoga, but this is just, once you get to the upper floors of the penthouses, it's just impossible to take screenshots. I mean, really any floor above the second floor of the build is like so hard. The camera is like crazy out of control, and it's really obnoxious. I don't understand why that is. I don't know, but sometimes I have to go out of the tab mode to adjust something and then go back in, and it's really obnoxious. But we are coming up on the end of this extraordinarily long ramble that only talked about the build for about 5 minutes in total, I'm sure. But I hope that you guys like this build and my ramble. Yes, I have been a little lacking with some of ideas, so if there's anything you guys want me to build, just let me know. I will definitely consider it. I do read all of my comments and try and respond to all of them that you know, say more than a couple words. Sometimes if it's just like one word, I don't, but oh goodness, I'm stalling for time again at the end of it because I overestimated how much, or underestimated how much time I had. Yes, and so then I just, yeah. Oh my goodness. But I hope that you guys are all having a really great day. I hope you guys are enjoying this build. Again, you can download it off the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!